The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Earth's mightiest heroes.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Alright, so let's do a King in Black recap video. So, two of the books that I would definitely suggest reading before getting into King in Black, if you want to get into it head on, is Symbiote Spider-Man. They just came out with this book. This is a excellent book. It's just a reprint. It actually has, if you're only missing one copy, like I am not, it has this book included in it. This is a True Believers version of Planet of the Symbiotes Venom Super Special. So this is a great book to own. It's only $1 right now at your local comic shop. So if you haven't read this book, and it's the only one missing from the 5 that are a part of this beautiful comic, you could kind of call it a trade, this is the book for you to get. So this gets into the Planet of the Symbiotes that happened into King in Black, because we've been talking a lot about this. One of the things that I forgot to mention, so Knull is Coming, Empire's End is basically just kind of a prelude book to what's going on in King in Black. It's one of those things that they did as a one-shot. It's a great book to have. I love this cover. If you want to put it in your collection, I would definitely suggest doing it. It's one of those ones that are truly a great read. Next up, I want to make sure that I have both of them. Symbiote Spider-Man #1 and then Symbiote Spider-Man #2. These are books that are actually preludes to everything happening in King in Black, coming out congruently with King in Black. So I'm actually going to do a video on all 5 of these after King in Black once they've all come out. I'm not going to do one as it comes out like I've been doing with most of them, and actually I'm going to change up how that's even going to look. I'm going to talk about that in this video, but this is how to read King in Black right now. And then Namor was a 5-part series that's coming out. I actually have Namor Part 2 in this pile right down here, and I have not read it yet, but I have heard that it is really good. So these are 2 other books that we've talked about on the channel and that you guys have gotten into. Another book that you guys have gotten in, or that I haven't gotten into on the channel, but one that is definitely part of the King in Black series, very, very minimally. That's why I didn't do a video on it, because it's more about Spider-Woman and her battle with basically going insane, and pretty much only alludes to her and Captain Marvel defeating a dragon. It's really nothing major at this point, so again, I did not do a video on this. I might do a video on all of the Spider-Woman tie-ins, because there is another one, Spider-Woman #8, that came out recently. And then you have the major ones. Obviously, Venom is a huge tie-in, and then you have the Queen in Black tie-ins. So again, beautiful cover on this one. This is a variant. And then Venom 31. We're going to get into King in Black #2 in this video. But I wanted to break down what's come out before we see the King in Black and Venom once again. And if the other book to have, obviously, if you do not already have it, is King in Black #1, going right before Venom 31. These books alone are phenomenal. I would definitely suggest reading them, going back and watching that video on these 2 books, because they genuinely speak to how crazy this is all going to get. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for King in Black as we continue to read. Alright guys, so these 3 books are the last part of the phase 1 of King in Black. So you obviously have King in Black issue #2 that we're going to get into. You also had that Spider-Woman #7 that we got into. And then last but not least, you have Iron Man and Doctor Doom. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do a video on this. And you also have Namor Part 2 included in all of that. So again, not sure that I'm going to do another video on this one. I wasn't too impressed with the first Namor. I want to see what's in it before I just do a video. I might do an overarching video of the end of King in Black Phase 1 and how all this kind of played in. So let's see what happens. With all that being said, let's read.
This is a level 7. As of right now, we are at war.
So let's talk King in Black 2. So basically this is post-fall, and by fall I mean Eddie hitting the car. And we see that in this very first, very well drawn, beautiful image. I mean, obviously not beautiful because it's Eddie hitting a car and being completely incapacitated, but very well drawn. And he hits this car covered in symbiote fluid, and Spider-Man comes to his help and is very upset that he couldn't get there in time. And Knull says, honestly, how hard is it to kill this one guy? And I mean, that just kind of speaks to how resilient Eddie Brock is and how amazing of a character to be able to survive something like that, not just because he is the key to all of this, but also because Eddie Brock has survived so much, and then to have all of this happen is just kind of like, wow, damn. So we then see Spider-Man tell Eddie that he's killed them all the Avengers, X-Men, everything are gone. And then he looks over and realizes they're not gone. They were turned into symbiotes. And so who comes to save the Spider-Man but, of course, the Human Torch. And we fast forward to this lab scene because Johnny Storm told him get him to the Fantastic Four lab. They're the only ones who can help him, the only ones who can save him. And Eddie is sitting on a table, intubated, tubes and wires and everything going in and out of everywhere, just trying to save his life. And you see Spider-Man talking to Valkyrie, this very ominous skull sitting over the top of everything happening. And honestly, I'm not quite sure where they're going to take this. This is going to be a very interesting story based on everything. So let me, before I get into that, Spider-Man then goes and gets Dylan. Iron Man actually ends up thinking of this really stupid idea that he calls a stupid idea, but one that might actually work. When Namor comes into the picture, and Tony says, we're going to go get the Black Tide. I know you didn't know that I knew about it, Namor, but now you know that I do. Tony then asks Blade, how's it going in Chernobyl, Ukraine? And we get a cameo of Dracula. So we've got the Black Tide, Dracula, and then we also get a cameo of Wilson Fisk saying, who wants to make some money? And we find out that, oh yeah, by the way, he's the mayor, which we knew, but that's neither here nor there. And Tony's genius idea is to use the extremis formula, to basically take over a symbiote dragon. And we can see in this picture this really cool image of Extremis after Tony flies into the mouth of that symbiote dragon and injects it with Extremis. And then we see Tony coming back completely covered in a symbiote saying, I don't know how long it will take for Knull to overwhelm my reprogramming, but I got one. And all the while we see this really cool thing happening. Something that Marvel and its writers and artists love to put in is these cool little, not Easter eggs, but just interesting ways of showing what's happening while everything else is happening. It makes the whole scene feel real. And in this scene we get in every panel a heartbeat EKG, which is really cool because it kind of speaks to them saying Eddie's alive right now, he's alive, he's alive. They give him the symbiote, it starts to kill him, the heart rate becomes more erratic and less normal, and then all of a sudden Dylan shows off that he has powers, and we see this really awesome image of Dylan going full BA in the moment, and Reed realizing, whoa, that was Dylan, and saying, your powers can save our friends and the world, you're incredible. And that's when we see it. Eddie had flatlined, and Dylan's in tears. Everyone's looking around like, oh my god, this was supposed to be our moment. This was supposed to be what we were all hoping would happen differently. We brought him here to be saved, and we didn't save him. He's flatlined. And we see Iron Man still wearing the body armor with the symbiote on him. Spider-Man, I can't think of the word right now, but basically giving his condolences to, consoling Dylan, and Reed and Sue standing next to each other, also grieving that they just lost Eddie. And Dylan, of course, in tears, saying, Dad. I'm not going to get into anything that it gets into the back of this for Venom 32. I want to leave you guys with that, but I also want to leave you with this. This kind of shows me that Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman are playing around. This is one of those ones where they're going to play hardball. They're going to show every bit of tragedy. I don't think that Eddie is going to stay dead. I honestly believe that they're going to save him. I'm not quite sure how yet. I'm very curious as to why they, being a doctor, being doctors, I should say, and being as smart as they all are, being part of the Illuminati and all of that, I'm surprised that no one jumped to try to save him, but obviously that's not the scene that they wanted to show. They wanted to show something different. They wanted to show Eddie dying. They wanted to show that heartbreak. The fact that they're trying to save this iconic character, iconic hero at this point, and just failing miserably. And pretty much issues 1 and 2 of King in Black have both shown absolute utter failure on the part of the X-Men. Just everyone. I'm very curious what role Namor is going to play in this, because obviously in this book he actually says, I've been fighting in the cold dark for years. My people have been fighting in the freezing cold dark for years. This is nothing new to us. You're not introducing us to anything out of our ordinary. Tell us what you want. Tell us what we need to do. We're here to help. This is our planet too. So that's kind of going to be a really cool team up to see, even though there's already tension there, and there's already this feeling of, why the heck is he here? I can't wait to see and dive more into King in Black when the next issues do come out. If you're wondering when issue 3 goes on sale, issue 3 of King in Black will be out this Wednesday. So all that being said, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Can't wait to talk to you again. King in Black #2, if it's not in your collection yet, if you haven't read it yet, I would definitely suggest that you go read it. Have a great day, everyone.